Hey everyone, the pathogen I decided to do my YouTube video on is E. coli, which is short for Escherichia coli. E. coli is a rod-shaped, negative, and anaerobic bacterium. This bacterium was first found by Theodore Escherichia in the year 1885. This bacterium is a huge food-borne pathogen that results in serious diseases within humans across the world. Most of the cases cause harmless strains within the gastrointestinal tracts of humans and animals. However, some of the strains have resulted in pathogenic E. coli by gaining virulent substances through plasmids, bacteriophages, and pathogenicity areas. These pathogenic strains tend to produce toxins and cause hemorrhagic colitis and a deadly syndrome known as hemolytic uremic that can harm humans. The most common pathogenic E. coli is EHEC, which is constantly found within ill people from the United States, the United Kingdom, and Japan. This human pathogen was first found in 1892, which were linked to outbreaks of bloody diarrhea. The transmission itself in the United States is the most common route for E. coli infections. It comes from the consumption of contaminated water and food. On the other hand, there are times where it can be spread from one person to another person, especially in daycare centers for children, and sometimes can be spread from an animal to a person. As data has been collected throughout the years, these infections have been documented from people visiting zoos, farms, or previously cattle grazed campgrounds. Out of the 350 outbreaks within the years 1982 to 2002, 52% were foodborne, 21% were unknown, 14% were person to person, 9% were waterborne, and 3% were from contacts with cattle. The most common contaminator of E. coli is cattle, and between 1 to 50% of so-called healthy cattle carry and give off E. coli in their remains at any point in time. The most common meat that carries E. coli is ground beef, and beef products are said to possibly become meat contaminated as they are being put down and possibly even when the beef is being grounded. Grounding the meat only raises the chances of the beef transferring pathogens into the actual food, which can lead to uncooked meat holding onto that bacteria. The other food that has been linked to being infested with E. coli are salami, beef jerky, lettuce, apple cider, spinach, water, and unpasteurized milk. Symptoms that result from E. coli is diarrhea that is interconnected with vomiting, fever, and dehydration for people who are of 2 years or younger. However, for adults having diarrhea within 3 hours of having ingested this bacterium, it is a good indicator that one has been infected by this bacterium. Diarrhea is the best indicator for this infection. However, there have been some cases that have reported having it for 2 consistent weeks before realizing that they are carrying this pathogen. In addition, this infection, unlike other diarrheal pathogens, can result in being in the hospital. The disease control and prevention places have concluded that E. coli infections result in 70,000 plus illnesses, 2,200 hospitalizations, and 60 deaths annually within the United States. Although this may seem high, it is surprisingly decreasing after the peak in the year 1999. On the other hand, huge outbreaks and random cases still continue to happen. It is reported that the annual cost for E. coli cases was $405 million. This includes medical care and premature deaths. The treatment in most cases can be efficiently treated by oral rehab therapy. On the other hand, it is more persistent infections that may require antimicrobials. In addition, antibiotics may not be the answer because there have been multiple cases who are resistant of this treatment. While resisting this antibiotic is a thing, the use of antibiotic treatment can at times be too expensive for developing countries, which is where E. coli cases take place, where most of the E. coli cases take place. Moreover, many people ask if there's a vaccine available in the place of antibiotics. However, there currently is no vaccine that can control the infection from spreading. The only way of preventing E. coli is by staying away from risky foods and looking out for cross-contaminated foods. Risky foods, as mentioned before, would include raw meat, cider, and juice. People should always make sure to thoroughly wash raw produce in order to get rid of any dirt and bacteria that may be clinging onto it. In order to avoid cross-contamination, people should always wash their utensils in hot soapy water, keep their raw food separate, and always wash your hands when you are preparing your food. Thanks, everybody.